And they asked him, "Teacher, when will these things be? And what will be the sign when these things are about to take place?" And he said, "See that you are not led astray. For many will come in my name, saying, 'I am he,' and 'the time is at hand.' Do not go after them. And when you hear of wars and tumults, do not be terrified. For these things must first take place, but the end will not be at once." Then he said to them, "Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be great earthquakes, and in various places famines and pestilences. And there will be terrors and great signs from heaven. But before all this they will lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and prisons, and you will be brought before kings and governors for my name's sake. This will be your opportunity to bear witness. Settle it therefore in your minds not to meditate beforehand how to answer, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom which none of your adversaries will be able to withstand or contradict. You will be delivered up even by parents and brothers and relatives and friends, and some of you they will put to death. You will be hated by all for my name's sake. But not a hair of your head will perish. By your endurance you will gain your lives."
There is growing talk about a military strike against Iran to stop it from developing a nuclear weapon. Some of it came from Israel's defense minister, and some of it came from U.S. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta today. More about all of that now from National Security Correspondent David Martin at the Pentagon.
Defense Secretary Panetta believes there is strong likelihood Israel will strike Iran in April, May, or June. That, according to columnist David Ignatius, writing shortly after he completed a transatlantic flight with the Defense Secretary. Panetta today did not dispute it. As if to show Panetta has cause for concern, Israel's defense minister seemed to reject U.S. arguments economic sanctions need more time to work. Sprinkling his Hebrew with English, Ehud Barak said,
"Later is too late."
As long ago as November, Barak said there were only 6 to 9 months left before Iran buries its nuclear facilities so deeply as to make them immune to attack. The U.S. is spending $80 million to upgrade its own 30,000-pound bunker buster bomb to go after more deeply buried targets. But when Joint Chiefs Chairman Martin Dempsey tried to convince Israeli leaders it's too soon for military force, he came away admitting he had not changed any minds. Israel recently canceled a missile defense exercise scheduled with the U.S. for the spring, a move some defense officials interpret as evidence Israel is focusing all its efforts on preparing for an attack. As Panetta explained in an interview with 60 Minutes, an Israeli strike would almost certainly have consequences for the U.S.
The United States could be targeted as a result of that. We would get blamed. Whether they like it or not, we would get blamed.
Nobody, including the Israelis, thinks a strike with all its unforeseen consequences is a good option. But if sanctions don't work and work soon, the Israelis could decide it's the only option.
And Secretary Panetta told us Iran could have a bomb as early as this year if it decided to go ahead. David, thanks very much. Short of war, the United States and Europe are pressuring Iran to give up its nuclear program. They've frozen many of Iran's international banking transactions, and the European Union will join the U.S. in boycotting Iranian oil.
There was a rich man who was clothed in purple and fine linen, and who feasted sumptuously every day. And at his gate was laid a poor man named Lazarus, covered with sores, who desired to be fed with what fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, even the dogs came and licked his sores. The poor man died and was carried by the angels to Abraham's side. The rich man also died and was buried, and in Hades, being in torment, he lifted up his eyes and saw Abraham far off, and Lazarus at his side. And he called out, "Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus to dip the end of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am in anguish in this flame." But Abraham said, "Child, remember that you in your lifetime received your good things, and Lazarus in like manner bad things. But now he is comforted here, and you are in anguish. And besides all this, between us and you a great chasm has been fixed, in order that those who would pass from here to you may not be able, and none may cross from there to us. And he said, Then I beg you, Father, to send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brothers, so that he may warn them, lest they also come into this place of torment. But Abraham said, They have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them. And he said, No, Father Abraham, but if someone goes to them from the dead, they will repent. He said to him, If they do not hear Moses and the prophets, neither will they be convinced if someone should rise from the dead. I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this?